Hey guys, it's Mr. Roxy. It is Thursday evening. It is approximately 8:45 p.m. on Thursday evening. It's May the 6th. A couple of my pipeline stocks reported today, so I thought I'll quickly put together a quick video on Pembina and Energy Transfer. Most of you are probably less familiar with Pembina and more familiar with Energy Transfer, but either way, I thought it's a good time for us to quickly check in on these two stocks and kind of see how they did. The interesting thing about these two stocks are that they are very, very similar, and yet they are also very, very different. So I thought what I'd do is I'll kick it off with Pembina, and then we'll talk a little bit about Energy Transfer. I'm not going to dwell on either of them for too long. I'm sure most of you are sort of familiar with the general thesis behind why I'm invested in these. If you've been following my channel, you would obviously know the reasons quite well. Anyway, what I'm going to do is go through Pembina, then I'm going to go through Energy Transfer, just a couple of slides on each of them, and then we're going to wrap it up with a little funny story from Twitter today, and call it a wrap. So Pembina, in case you don't know, is a leading energy transportation and midstream service provider. It owns an integrated system of pipelines that transports crude oil, natural gas, and natural gas liquids. It has about 18,000 kilometers of pipelines, predominantly in Canada, piping oil and gas and natural gas liquids from Western Canada to the places it needs to go to, refineries, storage, etc. It's a midstream and marketing services company to the energy sector. We look at tip ranks, we'll see the analyst target price for Pembina is $31.76. This is arrived at as an average between a low of 28 and a high of 33. And we sort of currently there or thereabouts. 6 of the analysts say buy, 4 of them say hold, and nobody says sell Pembina right now. If we look at the tip ranks sort of earnings estimates for the quarter, and of course the reporting date was today, May the 6th, we can see that the analysts rate Pembina a moderate buy. There was a consensus EPS forecast of 47 cents. Now, by the way, this is US cents. And Pembina trades in the United States on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol PBA, and in the Canadian market on the Toronto Stock Exchange as PPL. So these numbers here are in US dollars, so it's going to be a little bit confusing, but I'm going to try and clarify it as I go. And the analyst price target 31.75, as I mentioned a minute ago. Now, this is the price it closed at today, is 32.23, is in US dollars, so you can actually see we're slightly above the analyst price. One of the reasons why I own Pembina is for this nice rich dividend of more than 6%. Currently, it's yielding $2.02 per share on an annualized basis, and Pembina pays me my dividend monthly. A couple of quick remarks here. Analysts were expecting, and now this is in Canadian dollars, revenue of around $1.7 billion for the quarter, and earnings per share of 61 cents for Pembina in Canadian dollars. So 1.7 revenue, 61 cents in earnings. Pembina actually crushed the revenue estimates. They came in with total revenue in Canadian dollars of just over $2 billion, $2.045 billion. And for the earnings, they actually performed as per their guidance, which is 51 cents, which is the same as what they did in Q1 of 2020. The analysts will say they underperformed in terms of earnings EPS. Arguably you could say the analysts overestimated what Pembina would have made for the quarter. Adjusted EBITDA, 835, almost in line with last year, first quarter 2020, 830. It's about the same. So let's go to Energy Transfer. So I like Energy Transfer a lot more than Pembina, and one of the reasons why I like it a lot more is because there's more upside on Energy Transfer than what there is on Pembina. In theory, anyway. Obviously, half of the time I'm right and half of the time I'm wrong, so we'll see where we land on this one. Energy Transfer owns and operates one of the largest and most diversified portfolio of energy assets in the United States. It's natural gas midstream, intra-state and interstate transportation storage assets, its pipelines, etc., including the Dakota Access Pipeline, crude oil, natural gas liquids, refined product transportation and terminaling assets, and more and more and more. Energy Transfer also owns the Lake Charles Liquid Natural Gas Company and 28.5 million common units of Sunoco Limited Partnerships and 46.1 million common units of USA Compression Partners. So this is a energy giant in the United States, and one of the stocks that I think, in my very humble opinion, is grossly undervalued. The analyst price target on Energy Transfer is $11.50. Once again, arrived at an average of a low of $9 and a high of 16, giving you an average of $11.50. In the case of Energy Transfer, we've got 8 guys saying buy, 1 saying hold, and it's a strong buy. Now, Energy Transfer's EPS and results for the quarter included a consensus of 29 cents and an analyst price target, as I just said, of $11.50, which is kind of an average, meaning there's about a 25% upside, and regarded as a strong buy by most of the analysts that cover Energy Transfer. Its reporting date was also May the 6th, that was today. So let's see, firstly, what the analyst expectations were. And just to make sure that I'm grounded and give you a little bit of both sides of the coin type of information, this is an analyst report done by Stuart Glickman from CFRA. This, by the way, is just a few days ago. On May the 1st, he said Energy Transfer's target price is $7. And then if you say, why, Stuart, is the energy transfer target price only $7? He says, our risk assessment reflects Energy Transfer's exposure to the potential for rapid declines in crude oil prices, which could weigh on future demand for pipelines across the United States. Interesting stuff. You can tell me in the comments what you think about Stuart Glickman's energy report, rather than me just saying analyst, schmanalyst. Energy Transfer today finished up the day almost 3%, $9.20. And after close, obviously they only announced their earnings at 5 p.m., so 1 hour after the market's official close. We scored another uptick of 3.3%, giving us approximately 6% for the day on the upside. Another reason why I like Energy Transfer is not only because it's undervalued, but also because it pays 61 cents as an annual dividend per share, which currently yields 6.82% at the current price. And Energy Transfer pays that dividend on a quarterly basis. So let's take a look at some of the results here. So firstly, if we look at the earnings expectations, the revenue was an expectation of $11.4 billion. Energy Transfer actually came in at $17 billion, crushing that number easily. And the earnings per share target was 24 cents. So you can say sometimes the analysts get it wrong. Sometimes, obviously, they get it right. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. If they get it wrong, they just adjust their earnings and revenue expectations to match wherever they think it's going next. Financial results for the quarter. Energy Transfer generated net income attributable to partners of $3.29 billion, net income per limited partner unit of $1.21 per unit. Its adjusted EBITDA was $5 billion. Last year in Q1, it only generated $2.6 billion in EBITDA, and its distributable cash flow for the quarter was $3.9 billion, almost $4 billion. And last year, 2020 Q1, it was significantly lower at $1.4 billion. So as I said, I'll wrap it up with a quick little funny story on Twitter. So this is the last slide I wanted to share with you, and this is one of the guys I follow on Twitter, Unusual Whales, which is an interesting Twitter handle for him. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter too. It's Rudy Best, RUDIBEST. A story in 3 parts. He showed us the tweet from Jim Cramer from April 14th. We like Coinbase to $475. Unusual Whales responded by saying, here's a snapshot of Coinbase's market summary, and it is trading at $254.86. To which Jim Cramer responded by, Jim Cramer blocked you. So on my channel, I don't block anyone. I want to have vigorous debate. I want to make sure that we don't always agree with one another, because if we do agree with one another, nobody's learning anything at all. So what I'd rather do is say it's a wrap. If you agree or disagree with anything that I share with you, please tell me and maybe explain why. And I'd be more than happy to have a discussion and sort of see if I can defend my thesis or narrative, whatever it might be, or whether I should adjust my thinking, evolve, and match my thinking to your narrative or your thesis, whatever that might be. So I do not mind having vigorous debate and an argument from time to time in terms of where we're going, what's happening in the world, what's happening at macro level. And I appreciate the fact that many of you take so much time chatting with me, commenting, and the community that we built up is just awesome. So thank you for your contributions. This is Mr. Roxy saying goodbye for now. Stay away from COVID, stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.